starting us off, and you can tell you're in for a really, really great evening. We're so delighted to have all of you here this evening, and a special welcome to the Deputy Mayor of Dunstable, Mrs. Pat Staples, and her husband Ray. We're delighted that you're here, but you're all VIPs tonight, not just because I know you're here for the choir, but I know that many of you are constant and ongoing supporters of the work of Keach Hospice Care. We will be hearing about how the money raised for this evening is going to be put to very good use. And I am particularly pleased that you invited me because I do know officially that I am an old codger. I know it definitely. I went to introduce, I think it was a school. It was the girls' school in Rickmansworth, and that school's divided into lower, middle and senior school. And it was a special anniversary celebration for them. And I interviewed the little girl who had just finished being the head girl of the lower school, so she was about 8. And I said, and you know, what subjects have you enjoyed most this year? And she said, history. So I said, that's good. And what have you learnt about in history? And she said, the 1960s. I guess I'm not the only old codger. And actually, if that wasn't enough to persuade me I'm an old codger, when I was coming out this evening, my granddaughter's staying with us at the moment, and she was watching me get ready. And I was sitting in front of the mirror, you know, and she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm putting some cream on. She said, why? And I said, to make me look beautiful. And she said, oh. When's it going to stop? So all I can say is, hopefully before the end of this evening, I'm going to introduce you now to someone who doesn't need to know anything about that, because she's still a pupil in her first year of sixth form college here, well, not here in Luton, down the road in Luton. She's a very talented girl, and she's about to go in September to the Junior Royal Academy of Music, and when you hear her sing, you'll realise why. She's chosen a very challenging piece by Mozart, so I hope you'll give a big welcoming round of applause to Hannah Bennett.
I
Europe when he wrote that, and he was in Milan when he wrote it, and he actually didn't write it for a soprano, he wrote it for a castrato. So, he obviously had a very, very, very high voice. I just think it's amazing, really, that she's able to remember all of that, because I think, you know, just talking about being an old codger and everything, remembering things is one of the challenges, isn't it? Or is it just me that gets halfway up the stairs and can't remember what I'm doing? Well, we have a nan and granddad in our family who are always blaming each other for forgetting things. And, you know, and we've said to them, well, why don't you just carry a notebook with you and maybe write things down? And of course she said he would need that, but I wouldn't. And he said the same thing back again. So, but when we were round at their house the other night, and they were in Granddad got up to go to the kitchen, and Nan said, "Well, if you go, would you get me a bowl of ice cream?" So he said, "Yeah, sure." We got to the kitchen door, and she said, "You better write that down. We'll forget it." He said, "No, I won't." So she said, "I bet you do." She said, "Well, all right then. In that case, can I have some of that squirty cream stuff on as well?" So we went, "Right, vanilla ice cream, squirty cream stuff." She said, "Write it down. You'll forget it." He said, "I won't." So then he got to the door again, and she said, "Add some strawberry sauce." Strawberry sauce, vanilla ice cream, and squirty cream stuff. She said, "Write it down." He said, "No." Disappeared into the kitchen, shut the door, and 20 minutes later, he came out and gave her a plate of eggs and bacon. And she said, "I told you I should have written it down. Where is my toast?" There are a fantastic group of ladies who take the name of Pass, which of course was the sort of the family name really of what's become Keach Hospice Care. They are the Pass Harmony Singers, and they have worked so hard for this event, not just so that they can perform, but because they've done fundraising and publicity, and they just are constantly working. They are so busy just performing and actually telling people about the work of Keach Hospice Care. So we are delighted to be able to welcome them to the stage. Now we're going to start off with a wonderful piece of Stephen Sondheim. A big round of applause, please, for Margaret Blenkin, their musical director, and Pass Harmony.